Live camera. We're doing the same thing we do every week.
Little stroll.
We're doing a little stroll.
Little stroll action.
I'll wait till you sit down. Hey, good evening, friends and family. How are you?
Not good.
This is a show that we like to call The Jump Cut.
We're getting fucking good at that, man.
I know we are. It's chemistry.
There's like a skill it's just not matched there.
Well, this is a show basically where we talk about movies, pop culture,
and absolutely nothing at the same time.
True. That is
how
true.
it always turns out.
I'm your host, Nigel Fullerton.
And with me is Steve.
So today we're going to be talking about Good Boys, the movie Ready or Not, and the Netflix movie Rocco Static Cling.
Is it technically a movie? Or is it like a long episode?
It's a little bit of both, because I say the same thing about the Simpsons movie.
Okay.
And, you know, anything
Simpsons
that
movie is
comes
like an
from
hour and a
TV
half, right?
Yeah, but anything that comes from TV is basically...
just a long episode.
Yeah, it's just a long episode. So before we get into anything, we always like to get into a segment we like to call Geek News. So, starting first, I'll start with Spider-Man stuff first. How about that?
Yeah.
I know you want to talk about that.
I'm angry.
So, there's a couple things with Spider-Man that happened this week. I'll go with the lighter stuff first and go with the heavy stuff. Spider-Man Far From Home is returning to theaters Labor Day weekend with 4 extra minutes that were originally left out of the movie.
Yeah, so you want to buy another ticket for 4 minutes?
I mean, hey, listen, it's basically the scenes from the trailer that you probably seen a little bit of. It's Spider-Man fighting the Man-Freddy crime family and also Silverman.
Okay, I mean, I don't know how much it'll bring to it.
I said Silverman, but it's Silvermane.
But I just know that this is going to be the last time I'm going to see Spider-Man in theaters.
I mean, I kind of want to see it again.
I liked it. I did like it.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it again, especially if I'm going to see it again. I would like to see some extra stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so, and it's stuff that I was waiting for in the movie that never really happened.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like the craze of them, like, having these trailers and not actually having these scenes in the movie. Mm-hmm. Next thing for Spider-Man, Spider-Man is now leaving the MCU.
Can we have a big F in the chat for good old Spidey?
So basically, Sony and Disney Marvel, were in talks about, what they can do for the sharing of Spider-Man, the character. So basically, the original deal is that Sony had 100% of the distribution rights for the movie, right? Disney had the rights.
Vinny, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. Disney had the rights to all the toys.
Yeah.
So, and they had like 5% on the movie on the back end as well. And they also had access to Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
So, what ends up happening is now they want to renegotiate a deal. And Disney says, hey, we don't like that deal that we had before. How about this? You give us 50% of the movie production rights. Yeah. Not only for Spider-Man, but the other movies like Venom.
Yeah.
Like this other Spider-Man universe that they're trying to create.
I don't think Venom was ever supposed to be part of the MCU.
They're trying to get everything. They're trying to get anything that's related to Spider-Man.
Oh.
That's what the deal is. And Sony said they're not having it.
I don't get it, man. Sony's kind of like, they're on a power thing recently because they did it with like Insomniac.
But I think it's both of them. I don't think it's just Disney. I don't think it's just Sony. But I think it's both of them. I think it's these two juggernauts that are trying to fight each other. And they're like, hey, give us this. And we're like, no, we're not going to give you that. I think that's basically what it is. Because like even Sony came out and they said, and this is what Sony claims. Sony claims that Disney parted ways with them. They said, a Sony spokesperson says, we are disappointed, but respect Disney's decision. Yeah, they made it seem like it was all Disney's fault. And Disney's like, hey, we asked for this and you guys didn't want to give it to us.
Yeah, like, that's the thing that kind of bothered me. When I first read the news, I'm like, they did everything that was asked of them, and it wasn't good enough.
You know what's real funny? Disney helped Spider-Man make $1 billion.
Yeah.
They helped them. This is the highest grossing movie that Sony has.
Yeah.
The highest grossing one. Over their James Bond movies.
Yeah,
it's Skyfall.
It's literally just Sony basically trying to get that money and then pull out. And like, I think people are honestly going to be pissed off enough to not want to see another Sony movie for a little bit.
Yeah,
because I know I'm not really like that, but I know there are fans that are that dedicated.
Well, there is a boycott Sony thing going on Twitter.
Vinny says it's probably something to do with the Tom Holland sex tape.
Getting to Tom Holland, there are 2 more Spider-Man movies that are supposed to be made.
He's supposed to be in the other ones, right? They're not going to like end his streak.
No, he's supposed to be in the next couple. Like his contract is for 2 more movies. Not with Marvel, but with Sony.
But yeah, Spider-Man movies in general.
Yeah.
Because I think Sony still made the 2 Spider-Man movies.
They did.
Yeah, so it's
Sony had the rights. Sony was doing all that. Like they were Sony movies in association with Marvel.
Well, let me just say that I'm not the person that really cares that much about an MCU. Mm-hmm. I think here I'm going to give you this.
Okay.
I think I am not a person who cares enough about the MCU where like I need, oh my god, this character's being pulled out.
Right.
If you give me good movies, I'm gonna have a good time. Like the only thing that concerned me is that these movies were really building up to put Tom Holland in the MCU.
Right.
And the fact that Tom Holland is not going to be in the MCU now, despite all the work they did, like him not being in the MCU now makes the last Spider-Man entirely not make sense.
All of the Spider-Man movies so far.
The first one makes kind of sense because he was in the Avengers movie following that.
I get that, but his whole backstory is based in MCU. Think about Vulture, right?
Yeah.
We're waiting for Vulture's return. So Vulture's whole backstory is based off of stuff that happened in the MCU. Mm-hmm. You understand? So like, and Mysterio.
Yeah.
Mysterio stuff is all based on stuff that happened in the MCU. So if you don't have Iron Man anymore, and you have all this stuff and like it was directly linked to Iron
Steve,
Man.
thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Steve. How does that happen? How does that work?
See, but the thing is, unless they write the next movie, basically having, because this last movie was 2-week warning.
Right.
This last movie basically had Spider-Man just kind of saying, "Do I really want to do this?" And this next movie could basically him be saying, "I don't want to do this."
But now you have
now
it's going to be low stakes for Spider-Man because we've seen Spider-Man in space.
Yeah.
So how do we go back to Spider-Man just being our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man?
I think he could still do big things. There are big like Spider-Man villains. Mm-hmm. Like I just think that they could do a lot with the Green Goblin if they take it to like full potential.
You know what I heard?
What?
I heard there's a rumor. There's just a rumor that Giancarlo Esposito. Do you know who that is?
No.
He is Gus from Breaking Bad.
Oh.
I heard that he's in talks to be playing Norman Osborn.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I can see he's pretty collective.
He's a damn good actor.
He's a really he does have that really good uneasy like undertone to it.
He's such a good actor. I've been in stuff with him. But anyway, had to plug myself there.
Yeah.
Anyway, going forward, I don't know. I'm not too keen on this whole Sony having Spider-Man.
No one's keen on it. And like on top of that, so the only thing I'm okay with is Sony bought Insomniac Games.
Yes.
Which that's one here.
Yeah.
So we're skipping ahead to that.
It's okay. We go to that.
Because it's all in the same realm. This is a Spidey week.
Yep.
I don't really care that much about that because Insomniac Games, when they made the last Spider-Man game, the first Insomniac Spider-Man game, they had free reign. Sony basically funded the entire project, and they're like, here, you guys can make whatever you want. If it falls within budget, have a good time.
You know what's funny? I always thought that Insomniac Games was a Sony brand because if you think about it, the Ratchet and Clanks, the Spyro the Dragons.
Yeah, but then but you have wasn't Ratchet and Clank Naughty Dog?
No. I looked it up.
Okay, well, regardless, Naughty Dog also is a company like that. They just have...
Naughty Dog was Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, Sony just bought exclusivity. They didn't buy those companies, but now they're buying Insomniac. I don't know what's going to happen next gen. I'm kind of excited because now you have that last gen, or the beginning of this gen, was basically Microsoft being really intense because at the end of the last gen, they had all the money and they're trying to keep the money.
Right.
And Sony is just more laissez-faire. And now it's switching.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep doing that every generation. So
I think Sony has more exclusives than Microsoft ever had.
Yeah, but now you have Microsoft who's just like, listen, we don't believe in hardware anymore. We believe in software. We are willing to give you guys Halo. Like, we are willing to let you guys have Halo on your console. And Sony's like, no.
Well, Sony's in this backwards compatibility. They really scare me with that, but it is what it is.
I think Microsoft's like, now that they have Phil Spencer and they're trying and they realize the wrongs that they did. I'm not saying we have Windows and all that issue, but I think in terms of gaming, Microsoft's like more of the good guy, the lesser of the two evils.
I think Microsoft is the new Sega Genesis.
Maybe. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens next gen.
Because Microsoft launched a really underpowered and overly intense system that like no one really asked for. And then Sony was more like, "Hey, here's games, have fun." And then you have Nintendo doing their own fucking thing.
Well, speaking of games, we also might as well get to this. Also, THQ announced updates for Saints Row, Dead Island 2, and Time Splitters.
Yes. So with that in more detail, Saints Row is looking to be a new title, which I'm hyped for because THQ Nordic, I think, made the last one.
I've never liked any of the Saints Rows.
I liked Saints Row 3 a lot. I thought the open world was pretty bland, but I really loved the wackiness of the story and the customization and the music.
Well, they had to be wacky because they were the GTA clone.
Yeah, well, Saints Row 2 is a GTA clone. Saints Row 3 is basically after Saints Row 2, they're all like big, you know, stars. And like what I loved so much about it is that the soundtrack specifically had some really big artists in it that got me into a lot of my current musical tastes. Like here on Area 22, we do this podcast called the Deer Apparition Podcast, which is on Spotify and everything. Right now, we're talking about the Deer Hunter, the band DEAR, which I mentioned with the comic book.
Right.
And that is the game that got me into them. So I owe that game that, and also with Sleeping Dogs, but also just the customizability. But also, what other games were? It was Saints Row. There was
Time Splitters.
So Dead Island 2, which was announced I think in 2012, 2013. Dead Island 1 was okay. It kind of just played weird. But Dead Island 2 was, people were so excited for it. There was like there's so much hype behind it, and they haven't said anything. And so now that's finally coming around. And Time Splitters, which looks like to be a reboot.
Right. Woo. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
This is going to be like Crackdown. It never came out.
Well, Crackdown 3 came out, didn't it?
And it never came out. The one with Terry Crews?
I think Crackdown 3 came out. I think it's
the one with Terry Crews.
I think so, yeah.
When? I
think it came out last fall.
Yeah, that movie, that video game took forever to come out.
Hey, Chuck, can you be our Jamie and tell me if Crackdown 3 came out already?
Yeah, let us know if Crackdown 3
because Gears 5 is coming out this year, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So
that's cool. All right, getting back to geek news. Keanu Reeves has had a great year this year with.
Yeah, he is. He's had like this massive meme surrounding him too.
Oh my God, he's just killing it right now. He's shooting Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 3.
Yes, and I have not seen the first two.
I know you haven't. We discussed this before. But in other news, Keanu Reeves is set to join, and also Carrie-Anne Moss, so they're set to join Matrix 4.
I was talking to Nigel about that. Weren't the second and third one pretty much trash?
They were trash.
So I saw the first one. I really liked it.
It was supposed to be a trilogy. The second one was basically the Infinity War of the Matrix. And what we got...
It did, and it was slated for being not good. Which I never thought the Crackdown games were amazing. But.
Yeah. But the whole Terry Crews thing, I was all excited. I'm like, oh yeah, we get to play as Terry Crews?
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
No, see, the thing is, 2 and 3 weren't that great. I liked 1, and I really liked the Animatrix.
Okay. Because
the Animatrix was they were saying, hey, here's some love given back to the franchise.
Right.
And 1 was such a big milestone in cinema.
Well, I will say this. When 2 and 3 came out, because I remember I went to the movies to see these, The Matrix 2 had great scenes. It was shot perfectly, but the problem was it ended on a cliffhanger.
But for number 3,
number 2 ended on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, for number 3 to pick up.
Yeah, for number 3 to pick up. When number 3 picked it up, it was so convoluted and so hard to understand, because when the first Matrix came out, it was basically something that nobody understood quite enough. They had to watch the movie over and over again to
Donnie
understand.
Darko.
Yeah, no, Donnie Darko. Don't get me started on that movie. But
I like it.
You would. But the Matrix 2 and the Matrix 3, they were very underwhelming, especially the second one. It started out great, and it had great things to it, but I still have faith in the progress. I still have faith in maybe this one being better. They said that Michael B. Jordan is rumored to be a star in the movie, so hopefully it happens better than the rest of the stuff.
Maybe. I just don't have any interest in it. I'm sorry.
I'll give it a chance.
I want to make this clear to everyone who thinks that I'm such a negative person. I never want a movie to be bad. I never ever want a movie to be bad.
He does. He wants them to be bad.
Jesus Christ, Nigel.
Speaking of
but like if a movie's bad, it sucks. I have to sit through it, you know.
True.
But if it's good, I have a good time with it. There's so many movies that I saw that I expected to be terrible, and I had a good time with it.
All right. Well, speaking of unnecessary sequels, you're gonna love this one. Fast and Furious 9 just added Michael Rooker. You know him from playing Yondu in Guardians.
And he was also in Walking Dead, played, what's his name, Merle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also starring in the movie,
Merle.
Charlize Theron is reprising her role. Helen Mirren reprising her role as well. And new addition, John Cena.
This movie is going to be fucking insane, and I am excited.
And there will be no Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is this supposed to be happening alongside Hobbs and Shaw?
I'm thinking it's supposed to be happening along Hobbs and Shaw. I'm not sure, but they're rumored to not be in the movie.
I heard rumors they're going to space.
Yo, I'm not watching this movie. They go to space.
If they go to space,
swear to you, I am not watching any more Fast and Furious. If they go to space, I'm telling you, I'm tired of this. I'm tired. I've seen 8 Fast and Furious movies, and
9.
Hobbs and Shaw was 9. I'm tired.
I want to see Dwayne Johnson holding with his bare hands a rocket from taking off.
He did it already.
No, like a legitimate.
He did it in the 8th one.
No, like a NASA-style rocket.
A NASA rocket. No, he had a torpedo in his hand.
No.
And he grabbed it in the 8th one. Listen, I know last time I was here, I told you guys I was excited about Fast and Furious. I like the franchise. It's not necessarily true. I'm tired of this franchise. I want it to die.
Steve gets it. Literally the same person. The hive mind of Steve.
Why would you want space?
Because it's fucking insane.
No, yeah, it is insane.
It's going to be incredible.
Right. You're right. Yeah, but why would you want Fast and Furious in space? I wouldn't want that.
I would.
I already got Vin Diesel as Groot in space. Why the hell would I want him? Why?
It'll be fun. It'll be stupid fun. That's why I want it.
Tyrese and Ludacris don't belong in space.
Maybe with that attitude.
First we steal a vault, and next we steal the moon.
Yes. They will steal all the moons of Jupiter and give them back to us.
I live my life 1/4 mile at a time.
All right, what's up next for Geek News? Is that everything?
One last thing. We got Kevin Smith. Yes, Netflix is working with filmmaker Kevin Smith to create a He-Man limited series.
Yes, I don't know if I care enough about that.
Well, here's the thing about this, which makes it different from everything else.
Oh, they're all different.
Well, yeah. It picks up from where the original series left off.
Great. I still don't know if I care enough.
I don't think anybody has cared about He-Man since 1985, which I do recommend you watch this, and I say this every week. Toys That Made Us. Mm-hmm. They have a great documentary on He-Man and how much He-Man sold from 1982 to 1989.
Okay.
It's crazy. There's millions of dollars each. Like, and they were like, yo, what do kids like to play with? Oh, strong figures? Pfft, we got that.
All right, so we got Toys That Made Us on my list.
Yes.
We got
gotta see Toys
The Wire on my list.
The Wire's on your list, and Bill and Ted is on your list.
Bill and Ted's on my list. Yeah. And I'm sure there's going to be more shit next week.
You know what? We should have a duel. Like, there should be like a list duel. You give me your list, and I'll give you mine, your list. And then we just like go ahead and say what we thought about these movies.
Yeah, I'm game. And TV shows.
On TV shows.
Because you got to watch fucking Breaking Bad.
Yeah, but Breaking Bad is too many seasons, man.
I'm about to be watching all these hours of content. You can watch Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
It's not like you have to watch it by next week.
Oh my god!
Just consume a few episodes a night.
I wouldn't put you through The Wire unless you really like The Wire. Unless you really like.
You're gonna like Breaking Bad.
We'll see. I tried to watch the first episode. Didn't work out for me.
Yeah, 1 episode out of 5 seasons.
I know. But you guys said I'd be hooked on it, and I wasn't.
You got to watch it. I'm telling you, the character progression and everything is just so great. Anyway, so what are we up to? We're up to
that's all for Geek
reviews.
News. Yeah.
All right, that's good. So we have 4 things or 3 things we're reviewing?
3 things.
I watched a lot of things, and we're going to be saving those for next week.
Yeah, we have to, because what I've learned over these past couple of weeks is that we watch everything that's in the movie theater, and then when nothing's really coming out, we have nothing to watch.
Well, there's 2 things we decided not to watch. Angry Birds 2.
Yeah, I'm not watching.
And 47 Meters Down.
Yeah, I'm not watching that either.
No, I'm not a game.
Jamie Foxx's daughter is in 47 Meters Down.
Great. It's still not a good movie.
Is there another 47 Meters Down? Because I saw
There's
something.
There's the first one.
This is a sequel.
It's a sequel that isn't a sequel. It's like a sequel, like Troll 2 is the Troll 1.
Nah, I just have to watch Breaking Bad by next week. Fuck that. Oh, I'm not supposed to curse? I'm
No, we're
sorry.
good.
All right, cool. Well,
So-
Vinny, you heard that.
Mr. Skittle.
Vinny, you better be at my comedy show this Saturday. I'm telling you right now. I'm speaking to you, Vinny.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and be there too. Gotta buy tickets and 2 drinks.
Yeah.
All right. So first up, we got what? I'm gonna let you do the order.
We'll do Good Boys first.
All right. I'm gonna give you a TLDR quickly. If you watch the trailer, you're not gonna like it. If you didn't watch the trailer, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, that's the easiest review ever.
Literally. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's get into the actual review. So, do you want to lay out the foundation for us?
All right, Good Boys is about these 3 preteens. Yes, they are 11 or 12 years
They're
old.
in like 8th, 7th, 8th grade?
6th grade. They
Sixth
are
grade?
6th graders and not 5th graders or 8th graders.
And the marketing is just so like. Before we get into that, marketing is so focused on them being, haha, they're kids. Look at that, they're kids.
I think they were looking for a younger Superbad, which they probably. I mean, it worked to an extent.
Anyway, let's go plot.
Yeah, basically, it's these three preteens. They are learning about girls, and one of them gets invited to a kissing party. Well, they're all game, but they don't know how to kiss. So what ends up happening is they try to learn kissing from their next door neighbor, who is they call a total nymphomaniac.
And all this is in the trailer.
This is all in the trailer. So anyway, they use a drone to try to spy on their neighbor. The neighbor finds the drone, and the kids are like, "Oh, we got to get that drone back because that's not ours. That's our parents." And a whole bunch of stuff ensues between them stealing the girl's purse and trying to switch the purse that has Molly in it. They find out that there's drugs in it, and they're like, "Oh my God, we have drugs. We're 6th graders. We don't know what to do with drugs." And basically, all the hilarity ensues.
Yeah, like hilarity.
Yeah.
All right, so me and Nigel, like we just said, we saw every movie in theaters.
Yeah.
So seeing every movie in theaters, and we're not going to spoil this movie, even though there really isn't to spoil. You could probably call what's going to happen.
I mean, they end up getting to the party.
But okay, but
That's not a spoiler. That's
Wait, was that in the trailer?
yeah.
Okay.
They spun the bottle in the trailer.
That's right. We saw this trailer like what 15 times.
Yes, we've seen a lot.
We've heard and seen every joke in each of those trailers, and the extended trailer was just a joke from a different perspective.
Yep.
And like, okay, they were funny the first trailer.
Right.
They were funny the second time around. The third time around. Okay, and then like it's going.
We were hyped to see the movie. We wanted this fresh air.
Yeah, but then we're just like, all right, so is this movie going to go anywhere? And the movie has a lot of things happening that don't equate to anything big happening.
Right.
And with this movie, you have like the kids who are going through all these situations, and a lot of the movie. See, like this movie, I compare to 8th grade. Have you seen the movie 8th grade?
I have not seen the movie.
So the movie 8th grade, written by Bo Burnham,
Okay. I know what that
is about this girl in 8th grade, basically just dealing with the trials and tribulations of being an 8th grader, like falling in and out of love, having being sexual harassed, having friends that are older than you, all that stuff, and moving into high school. It's like it was really well done, and that movie is the most accurate depiction I've ever seen of someone at that age.
Okay.
Because they like understood what it meant. But then you have like Good Boys, who's just
Good
like
Boys.
it's not like it's basically Seth Rogen. Was James Franco involved or no?
No, it's Seth
So-
Rogen and his partner.
It's basically Seth Rogen saying, "Hey, look, they're kids. They're saying adult things. Ha ha ha! Isn't that funny?" And that's what the movie's riding on the entire time.
He also thought hot dogs were funny too.
See, that's the thing. Like when I saw Sausage Party, it did get a little too over the top and annoying. Like you knew they were going to make a dick joke with the hot dogs.
And they made several dick
Like, but
jokes.
you just knew it was inevitable. And like,
is a dick in the picture.
yeah, but when you're I didn't see that trailer a million times too.
Yeah.
So I took that movie for what it was. I'll see it the once, and I'll probably never see it again. And with Good Boys, when I saw this trailer so many times, and they told all the funny jokes in the trailer,
That's the most disappointing part of this.
it's like Seth Rogen was one of the directors and writers where I knew if I went to his movie, even if the movie's bad, I could usually have a good time knowing that there's just some lowbrow, funny slapstick humor in it.
Yes, I feel like he shot his load a long time ago. Because to be honest with you, and we're talking Seth Rogen, and be honest with you, like I don't like every Seth Rogen movie.
But do you remember that Seth Rogen James Franco movie that came out about 2 years ago that took place around around
Interview?
Christmas? No, it took place around Christmas. Like the movie itself did. It was like
4 Christmases or whatever. The
Something
one
like
with
that.
Anthony Mackie was in it.
the one where I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
That's how much I remember it. But
Yeah, Anthony Mackie was in it. And again, I didn't watch that.
I forgot the movie existed, but I went there and I still had a good time with it.
Did
you?
you?
Because like I don't go to these movies expecting much. I just go there and expecting to laugh. But when I'm sitting there watching the movie,
Steve said Seth Rogen has two modes, funny or trash. I feel like he has no in between. And this is true. You're right. Observe and report. Zach and Miri make a porno. I can keep going.
as a bad movie, Zack and Miri?
I didn't really like it.
I didn't see. I saw it once when I was a kid.
I wanted it to be like better. Like it had so many hype. I feel like there's so much hype with Seth Rogen movies. Even the end, I really wanted it to be better than what it was, and it had the capacity to be better.
See, I feel like these movies are funny to you if you're like a teenager or something, you know, where you have that kind of like more immature, I guess, sense of humor.
I have an immature sense of humor. I love 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah, I know. But
I love Knocked Up.
But that's the thing, though, is that you love it along with the way the movie is made, you know?
The movies were made better before. Once he took the reins and did the movies on his own, there were too many repetitive jokes.
Yeah.
There, especially with Good Boys. Good Boys had way too many repetitive jokes, and it's all dick jokes. Mm-hmm. It's all jokes about sex. It's all jokes about masturbation, and this is a common theme that's in every single Seth Rogen movie. So that's basically where his mind is, and that's cool. I get you, but that doesn't necessarily make the movie good.
It's just like the movie is playing so heavily on the fact that they're children saying adult things, and like even the ads are like these kids aren't old enough to see this movie, but you are.
Right.
That's literally what they're. Okay, we get it.
That was one of the trailers.
I know, and like it was in all the ads too. It's like you must be this tall to see this movie.
Exactly.
And there's a giant R-rated thing on there, and I'm like, I just don't care.
I mean, I guess they were doing that for 12-year-olds that actually watch this movie.
Yeah,
I think 12-year-olds would find this movie funny.
They would,
but I think we would find this movie funny too if we didn't see all the stuff in the trailer.
I literally just saw a Tarantino movie, and a Tarantino movie are over the top with that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So like. But Tarantino does it in a smarter way. This is just like in your face, kind of like rubbing. Hey Moose, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Moose.
Being like Seth Rogen pissed on the carpet, and he's rubbing your nose in the piss.
I think you know what it is, and I think movies need to take a page out of Kevin Feige's book, whereas give us fake trailers. I'm serious. I'm tired of seeing your whole movie just by being forced to watch it. Because now I feel like we're forced to watch these movies. And when we go in, because like him and I, we go to these movies every week. Every week we're going to these movies for you guys, right?
Yeah.
So there is a good 20 to a half hour of trailers that we have.
It's gotten actually longer. It's insane. It used to be like 12 minutes.
Yeah. It's longer and longer. Like, yo, I have eaten my food, I've drunk my big large soda, and I've gone to the bathroom twice before the movie starts.
I've gotten to a point where I actually like intentionally wait 20 minutes before going to the movie.
Yeah,
because I'm just like, all right, this is enough.
That's what I had to start doing too. Because I'm like, yeah, the movie wait without me.
All right, so you read that. I'll get on with this.
Well, he says he's mostly lowbrow humor, which I can normally enjoy in most basic of senses. But lowbrow humor can only be played to so much before it gets really, really stale. And that's true. It's getting stale.
And you're welcome, Moose.
Thank you.
All right, but no, like with this movie, first of all, it was too long. Like that's one of my main complaints. It's like this movie really overstayed its welcome, and with the fact that like with the way they made this trailer is they didn't make it where it was just like all in the beginning, where it's like all just like a condensed area. Like if they were all jokes within a small portion, and it was 5 minutes, I can deal with that.
Was there one point in this movie where you felt like I don't care?
Yeah, it was when they were all like kind of moving on.
Yeah.
But when I was watching the movie, it's like the trailer was literally showed a scene, then showed a scene from like 10 minutes later, another scene 10 minutes later, another scene 10 minutes later, and you knew what was going to happen before it happened. Yeah. And like that's like the issue with the narrative nowadays that exists in movie trailers. Star Wars Episode 3 being the prime example of that. Or you have Terminator, Genesis, where they literally spoiled the movie in the trailer.
Yeah.
Or they did the same thing with the new Terminator Dark Fate, where they showed Arnold Schwarzenegger in the trailer.
I mean, I guess they did that to show that hey, Arnold's back.
Yeah, but that would have been a movie. That would have been a movie moment where if it was held back and people saw that when they were in the theater, they would be like cheering.
I guess
just like with Episode 7 of Star Wars, where they showed Luke Skywalker at the end, and people were cheering.
Right, but I think with Terminator, because it left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, all of these bad sequels, that you have to have a Terminator movie with Arnold, because if you don't, they're like, oh, this is going to be like that third one that they did, or there was one where he wasn't in it at all. I forgot which one. Mm-hmm. But we don't want that.
Yeah, see, my current, like, I'm just going to wrap it up, I guess, for this part, because we have 2 more movies to review. Right. But my issue isn't as much with the movie as much as it is with the trailer.
Okay.
Because if they didn't show all the funny jokes in the trailer, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
If they literally just advertised the movie as, hey, these are a bunch of, like, kids, they're doing stupid things,
right,
and that's it would have been fine. But, like, the fact that they kept showing everything in the movie was, okay, could you please stop?
Yeah, just don't show the funny jokes. Show, like, the mediocre jokes that, like, we had to sit there and watch. Give us 2 funny jokes, and that's a great trailer.
Yeah, trailers don't need to be more than 30 seconds to a minute.
They don't.
Like, that's really all you need. Oh, here's the extended trailer. Is this a
here's
Star Wars?
Here's the Red Band trailer.
This is Star Wars. No one's sitting around saying, oh my God, I can't wait for this new Good Boys trailer. Who the fuck is saying that?
I was.
All right. I recommend this movie if you haven't seen the trailer. I don't recommend this movie if you have seen the trailer. If you have seen the trailer, wait for it to come on TV where you don't have to pay out of pocket.
I recommend the trailer. The trailer is really good.
Yeah. But if we're moving on, if we're going to be seeing this from Seth Rogen in the future, if this is a hint of what to expect, I don't want to see any more Seth Rogen movies.
I was already off board with Seth Rogen after Future Man.
Steve said that's why I don't want to watch trailers anymore. They don't leave any surprises anymore.
That's true.
They've been doing that with Spider-Man, which is good. Yeah. And because, like, that's one thing I didn't want to watch.
They faked
Spider-Man
this
trailers
out with Spider-Man.
Yeah, like I didn't want to watch the Spider-Man trailers or the Endgame trailers or stuff because I didn't want to be spoiled.
Well, you know they were faking this out. Every trailer that they had, they faked this out.
Yeah, I know, but that's kind of what I liked about it.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it too.
Subversion of expectations. Anyway, let's go into our next movie.
Let's go into Rocco before we go into Ready or Not.
Yeah, Rocco's lighthearted.
All right.
So Rocco's Modern Life, the TV show from the late 80s, early 90s?
No, Rocco's Modern Life was from 93 to 96.
93 and 96. So what basically the way the show ended is they
never saw the end of the show.
Well, if you saw the beginning of the episode, so
I know. I was so confused.
They'll go into Rocco's house. Rocco being a what was it? Wallaby. And then his friend who's a turtle, and then the cow.
The cow, yeah.
Yeah, and they go take off into space, and then they're just kind of exploring for 20 years. This episode takes place. Hey, Danny, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, Danny.
This episode takes place 20 years later.
Yep.
Where they say, hey, we found the remote, and it was on your butt the entire time. Let's go back to Earth.
And they come back.
And this movie... this TV episode movie, I'm gonna call it a movie.
All right.
This movie is a hate letter to the modern era of media.
I think so, but I like that. I like the fact that it basically played on itself being a reboot.
Yeah.
And complaining about another reboot that was happening in the show. The Big Heads, which are the neighbors of Rocco. Once Rocco finally comes back, Rocco can't adjust to life because now 20 years, you know how many things have happened in 20 years? Well, cell phones don't have buttons on them anymore.
Which they did a really good joke with that, where they're just kind of like, this guy, they bought a cell phone, and then literally a minute later, the next one came out.
Let's go get it. And then the next one came out.
And they're playing jokes on the iPhone, obviously.
Yeah, that. Energy drinks, like so many things have happened like in the past 20 years.
Didn't they have like really retardedly like high octane energy drinks back then?
No. There were no energy drinks. There was like Surge.
Yeah, but that had a lot of caffeine in it.
It had a lot of caffeine,
basically
but
an energy drink.
It wasn't labeled as an energy
It wasn't labeled
drink.
as such, but it still had more than like
Surge,
Red Bull and
Surge
stuff.
was disgusting. Red Bull didn't come out till like early 2000s.
Yeah, but along with Monster.
Yeah, Monster too.
Which Monster's better? Red Bull tastes like piss.
But anyway, so basically, Rocco is trying to watch TV, trying to get adjusted to regular life, and he finds out at his favorite show, The Fatheads, which was created by Mr. Big Head and the Big Head family, their son, is no longer on TV. So now he is determined to get the Fatheads back on TV, and that's basically us in a nutshell. We have these shows and we have these things that we truly love, and it gets canceled, and then we're like, oh, we need to start a campaign to get it back on the air. Well, as we all know and notice.
Somehow Rocco's take on that was way more endearing than the way like we actually do it.
True,
Because he was just kind of like, I miss my show, man.
yeah, but you know what really, and I don't think this is like spoiling for anybody. If you like Rocco's Modern Life, you're gonna watch this anyway, so it doesn't matter what we say about it or not.
Yeah.
But the thing that I really loved about it is that once he finally got the Fathead show on, he was like, this is not what I remember.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah, because it was too different.
Right.
He literally blatantly said, he's like, this is too different. I don't like this.
Right.
Which is a testament to the show itself.
Yeah.
The show, they didn't change it much. And it was to his detriment because you waited, I don't know if anyone really waited 20 years for a new Rocco episode.
Wasn't waiting for I didn't like Rocco's Modern Life the first time it came out.
But when I saw this, I'm like, this is just another episode of Rocco. There really wasn't anything significant to it.
Well, that, like I said earlier, that's how I felt about the Simpsons movie.
We said that before we started? Or?
Yeah. No, we said it on here.
On there? Okay.
Yeah. That's how I felt about the Simpsons movie. I felt like it's just a long... Same thing with Entourage movie. Same thing with...
the Entourage movie was like...
It was a long Entourage like scene.
Yeah, but I really liked it.
I liked it.
Because thing is, they had enough stuff to fill out that hour and a half.
Right, but it was just like a long episode of the show. It could have been on HBO, but it is what it is. But that's it for Rocco's Static Cling. I liked it. You?
I liked it. If it's another episode of Rocco, I'm not going to go back and watch it again.
Yeah,
there's not much there for me to go back for.
If you like Rocco, this is for you.
The movie is like a lot about saying, "Hey, look at that! We can make this soulless content very quickly and just call it this brand." It's like they're heavily going on that stuff. It's really a hate letter to the digital era.
It's a meta version of what's going on right now with the Beverly Hills 90210 thing.
Yeah. So. It's like you can tell. It's like it was made with hate more than love.
All right, that's it for that. Let's get into the movie, Ready or Not.
I was so excited for this movie.
I wasn't as excited.
Because this movie looked like, from the trailers, it looked like it was going to be just a campy slasher type film.
I was just like, eh.
It's like, it looked like it was going to be fun. It looked very stylistic, and it looked like it was just going to be something that I could just sit back and enjoy. And for the most part, that's what it was. Like, I literally sat I saw it at Roosevelt Field Mall.
Okay.
And I sat in the food court with my friend, and I'm like, all right, I want to say what the plot is right now for the whole thing before I saw it. I'm like, this is going to happen, then this, then this, then this. And if this is the ending and I called everything, I'm going to be fucking pissed. And that is what happened.
I mean, yeah.
And because with this kind of movie, this is a movie where they almost showed everything in the trailer. There's stuff they could have left as surprises, but also what they did with this movie is they told the whole premise of the movie in the very opening scene.
Right.
So you can't be that pissed because you have an expectation of what's going to happen.
So let's set it up for the people.
Yeah. So Ready or Not, it's basically a take on what's I guess supposed to be a parody on the Bandai Namco kind of family. Whereas this big family has a fortune and owns video games, not video games, but like board games and card games and stuff. They started making their money from printing card games.
Yeah, okay.
They advanced to board games, and then they started buying more and more stuff.
Right.
Not to spoil too much. Every time someone gets married and they bring a new member into the family, they need to perform a game. And the new family member must participate in the game. The game could be chess, it could be checkers, it could be
Chutes
and ladders, a card game, anything. But if they play Ready or Not, it's a deadly game of Ready or Not, hide and seek.
Hide and seek, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a deadly game of hide and seek. And for any of those games, all they have to do is participate. They don't have to win or lose. But for hide and seek, if it's picked and that person doesn't get killed by dawn, then they have to be sacrificed. And the person isn't killed by dawn, then the family explodes due to a pact that they made with another.
Just gave it away.
But this happens. They all die if that happens, because that's what they're trying to do. And they're talking to it's all kind of a pact that they made with this kind of billionaire who gave them their fortune. And he basically said, "It's like, I demand this." And
they also worship Satan. So
yeah,
I think my take on it is I liked it.
I had a lot of fun.
I liked it. I was engaged. I wasn't bored. I was on the edge of my seat. I thought that, hey, maybe, just maybe, she might die.
The movie knew what it was.
Yeah.
It didn't. My complaint with Good Boys, where I said it took way too long. This movie was the perfect length.
Right.
This movie, I didn't feel I needed more or less when I saw this. I was content. No post-credit scene.
Great.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Could we please just end that trend now? But going with Ready or Not, what was really cool about it is you got to see the development of this character, like the protagonist, the new wife, as she's being turned from like that irreverent kind of like quirky new addition to the family to just someone who's insane by the end.
I saw this movie as like the white version of Get Out.
Yeah, kind of.
Like that's how I saw it. Like I was like, oh, new
Get Out was
person,
a better movie.
Yeah, new person being introduced to the family.
Yeah,
this family's kind of weird. I don't know what's up with them.
Yeah. The thing is, this movie is like, it was really good at being what it wanted to be. Like there are points, it was very stylistic.
Right.
There are points where it showed humor, and it did so in a really smart way. Like the trailer scene, not to spoil anything.
Right.
They're all given these like archaic weapons to hunt after this girl.
These were their father's weapons.
But then they're all like kind of having that internal conflict. Is like, but that was during their time. Why can't we use what's from our time?
Right.
And they're like, could we use like our security systems? Could we use this? Could we use that?
Right.
It's like, why do we have to use this crossbow when we can use an actual pistol? Like that's
and they don't know how to use a crossbow.
Exactly. And like there's a scene where you have the guy just sitting in the bathroom learning how to use a crossbow the entire time.
Yeah.
Or just texting his friend. And the movie, when it takes a step back to just like entertain you as a comedy, it does so well. But when it wants to be really tense, it has you at your seat.
Has you, yeah.
And it grabs you by the crotch.
Right.
That's what I enjoyed a lot about this movie.
I did too.
So if you're going to this movie looking for just a really fun, campy kind of thriller, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a horror, I don't think.
It's not. It's a thriller. It definitely is.
It's basically.
I mean, there's some gore to it, but it's definitely a thriller.
It feels like a thriller in the vein of Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Where Jordan Peele's thrillers could very much almost be a horror.
Right.
But they're not quite a horror.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't have jump scares, really.
There wasn't any scissors.
There weren't any scissors. No, I'm thinking of a different show I'm watching.
Yeah. Oh.
But overall, it's just like, there's not much to say about this movie without giving it away. Because this movie is literally just a deadly game of hide and seek.
It is.
And you're just going with the flow.
Yeah.
And it's just fun. I mean, I had questions about what was going on about the end, because the movie kind of just like, it ended.
Right.
So I kind of had questions what would happen, but I prefer it that way.
Yeah.
I like
Same
it to
here.
leave it up to a bit of ambiguity to me as like a viewer. The movie was like, it was shot really well. One thing that I liked about it is it didn't rely too heavily on Dutch angles. Thank God.
Dutch angles.
Because like
Man.
it just started sticking out to me as a sore thumb, especially ever since I saw Thor: The Dark World, I think it was.
Yeah.
Where they just showed every other shot was a Dutch angle. I wouldn't mind it, but like now they're just kind of like, now they're throwing him in like more tastefully, but they still stand out to me like a sore thumb.
Gotcha.
I don't know if you have any.
It doesn't bother. I
I don't know if you have
like
any
to watch it.
cinematography kind of things that do that to you.
I don't do that anymore. Like I remember when I was first shown like how like stuff works and stuff happens, I was like, oh, look at that shot, look at that shot. Now I'm just like, I just like it.
Yeah,
I don't let that bother me anymore.
That's the thing, is I can get really critical with these movies, and a lot of people aren't going to be like that. That's why I try to give my reviews in two parts for the people who are more like me and people who aren't.
Yeah.
And like with Good Boys, whether or not you're like me, if you saw the trailer, you're not going to like it. But if whether or not you're like me for this, you're probably still gonna have a good time.
You're gonna watch this trailer, you're gonna be like, yo, this movie is really good.
Yeah. This movie, the trailer doesn't give too much away. I do wish I didn't see the trailer going into it, but you do kind of need to see the trailer if you're on board for it.
See, the trailer didn't jump out at me, so I had low expectations.
Well, when you're sitting in the movies and you have trailers for like Men in Black International, you have trailers for like Hobbs and Shaw and all those kinds of movies.
Normally I go,
but then you have this trailer, which is like, okay, this is something that doesn't look like it's bland and like boring.
I don't know. Every one of those are saying, I don't think this is gonna be that great. Like Hobbs and Shaw, I was like, you know, like Men in Black International was like, why do I really need this?
Yeah, but overall, I thought this was a really fun movie. I would watch it again, but you know, the movie really heavily relies on like you guessing what's going to happen, and it's still going to be a fun movie. Like it's a movie you can definitely still sit back with a bunch of friends on like a night and like throw some drinks back and like just snack and have a good time.
I like the fact that this is one of the first weeks where all of our movies weren't reboots.
Yes,
except for one. I mean, Rocco, but.
Rocco was it? It wasn't a reboot. It was continuation.
Continuation, but still, it's like
soft reboot.
Yeah, the reboot or like a sequel.
I don't think they're going to be doing anything more with it because that episode of Rocco didn't end like definitively.
Well, it was basically for like fanboys and people who love the show. So like, if you wake up and you say, "Oh, Rocco's Modern Life is on there," I have to watch. Same thing with Invader Zim,
which we're going to review next week. I already saw it. Nigel didn't, but he also didn't watch the show.
I don't know anything about this Invader Zim. People on the chats, I don't know who Invader Zim is. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm old. And when Invader Invader Zim came out, I was old. I was too old to be watching cartoons.
I thought, see, that's the thing with Invader Zim, is it came from an era where I thought cartoons could appeal to both adults and kids.
Yes and no, because that was a time when the weird version of cartoons were coming out.
Yes.
So like cartoons were more getting gross and gross and gross. So like the high, it started with your Ren and Stimpy, then it went to Morocco, then it went to what was Ed, Ed and Eddie?
That show was awesome. That's still a fun show.
And then fast forward to Invader Zim, where like it's this weird type of like abstract cartoon that I'm not used to. I'm used to Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, it's just like really interesting to me how Nickelodeon are just offloading all their shows onto Netflix, and you can tell Dora.
Interesting, yeah.
And you can tell Dora was meant to be released on TV, but just got a theatrical release somehow because it's in 16:9.
Oh, didn't know it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we're gonna review Dora next week too, most likely.
Yeah.
Morocco.
Morocco.
He meant to say Rocco.
I meant to say Rocco, and I said Morocco. I got you.
But anyway,
Morocco's Modern Life.
So that's pretty much our reviews.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to touch upon?
I got a show this week. Are we doing?
What are you watching?
Oh, what are we watching?
What are you watching?
All right. I'll talk about my show later. What am I watching?
Talk about my show when I'm on that side of the studio.
Cool. I thought you were leaving. I just finished watching the season 3 of the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. I really do like the show. I love Mark Maron's character on the show, and I love the ode to...
And it's the advertise as Glow, just to say.
It's Glow, but it stands for Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Yeah, but I just want to say for people who are looking
it's called Glow. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. But yeah, Mark Maron's character is amazing in it. The ode to 80s wrestling is pretty cool. At all the references in this, and like, you know, the things that these women go through, and just in all, like, it's just basically watching the batshit things that happen at a TV show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crap, what have I been watching? I've been watching the show The Money Heist, which is called La Papel.
Couldn't get into it.
It was called La Casas de Papel, I believe it was called.
Okay.
Which the House of Paper sounds way cooler than The Money Heist.
Yeah.
But that show is like, so the show is filmed in Spain, so it's European Spanish. That's the original dialogue, and is dubbed over with English.
That's what that was?
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't like, yo, I can't do this.
You gotta turn off your brain a bit.
Oh my
Unless you want to
God.
watch it with subtitles. Even then, the subtitles are like still different than the actual dialogue. Which
I tried to watch it. I was like, what the hell is this?
But the concept, I like it. The concept of the show is you basically have this group of people. They're all specialists in what they do. They meet this guy who they call the Professor, who basically has this really grand heist for robbing the Royal Mint in Madrid, Spain. Mm-hmm. And there's the first 2 seasons are about them trying to rob the Royal Mint. And like their trials that they go through, and like all the things that go right and wrong with the hostages that they're holding, and them bantering the police, and it's like a game of chess because the police think they got an edge, but they just walked into a dead end that the professor set up for them.
Gotcha.
And it's just a lot of that back and forth and like that cat and mouse chase. So if you like that kind of stuff, you're gonna like it. If that's the kind of stuff you like in a good heist TV show or movie, you're gonna like that. And then the show should have ended at that point, but then they made seasons 3 and 4, which talk about robbing the main big bank of Spain, like the huge tower. So the show it's really interesting and fun. I think that I haven't finished season 3 yet. It's kind of show that I just started watching casually. But when you get after season 2, you're just kind of like, you don't need to keep watching.
Yeah.
Because it ends on a good note. And when you get beyond that, it's basically they get new characters to just say, hey, we made a mistake on making this person do this then, or killing off this character or whatever. It's kind of like what they did with Death Note, the anime, where like after one of the characters die, they hire another character that's pretty much the exact same as that character. So it's like they kind of are knowing their mistakes and accepting it. So that kind of happened. I don't know if there's any of the movies you want me to talk about and what I've been watching that if you want to go see it.
No, we're still going to do it.
We'll save it for reviews.
Save it for reviews next week.
Yeah, but the Money Heist is just like, if you turn off your brain, like I said, if you turn off and you just don't watch, and you watch the English dub with it, or if you do speak Spanish, but it has like Spanish, it has German, it has French, it has all those like dubs for it.
Hey man, I don't got time for all that.
But the dubs were well done though. Like if they're in the like, it doesn't match up perfectly with the lip sync obviously. Right. But if they're like if they're in the bank, you can hear the echo on the voice. Or if they get close and intimate, you can hear the really snap the compressors.
I'll try it
and stuff.
again. My thing is like, if it doesn't catch me like as soon as I watch it,
you have to watch like the whole first episode. And when you watch the whole first episode, if that doesn't catch you, it's not for you.
Yeah.
But just know that it goes on for 2 seasons. It's called Parts because in Europe they're referred to as series and parts.
Yeah.
TV shows are not referred to in seasons.
Right. Same thing with what was that show with Idris Elba? Luther,
not familiar.
Oh, yeah. There's a show.
Is that also on my list now?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't put that on your list. But yeah, I think that's it. Good episode.
Yeah, that was fun. We try to have the philosophy of we would rather end short and strong than keep you holding.
I thought
with
we
nothing.
did like a good hour already.
50 minutes.
Oh, we're at 50. Yeah, that's good.
That's
man.
good enough. So
Yeah.
anyway, what's coming to me? Oh, actually, I had to tell a story. I told.
Oh yeah, the
Nigel.
story. Yeah.
So on Monday, I fainted on stage. So I went to this open mic night. I did 2 sets, right?
Okay.
I did a set with my friend, which was an acoustic set. We covered a few songs. We covered, I think, Drive by Incubus, Through Glass by Stone Sour, Helena by My Chemical Romance, and Everlong by Foo Fighters.
Okay.
So, crowd-pleasing songs.
Right.
And then after that, I turned it up a notch and I played my band Elision's music, and I did 2 songs of that. So we have a song called Umbra Part 3.
Okay.
So the way the song starts, you have a little orchestral intro, then it has 2 13-second screams, right?
Okay.
I held up the first one, and the bar, being in Port Jefferson, was really hot. The doors were open, and I was getting dehydrated despite me constantly drinking water. I held out the first scream, then I passed out on stage. Like, I literally passed out on the floor, convulsing, and it felt like I was in a dream. I was fumbling with the mic.
That was funny.
And my friend, so I missed the entire second scream. My friends are thinking that, like, oh, he's just being theatrical. Like, they thought it was just Steve being Steve.
And they just kept playing.
Yeah. No, the song kept playing. It was because it was the backing track. Because my band aren't in New York.
Okay.
But so I was fumbling with the mic, and then I get back up and I regain consciousness, and I listen, and I hear the song's about to go in the verse, like dun dun, like the little 2 press for the verse. I'm like, oh shit! So I jump right back into the verse, and I did the whole thing straight through, and I did the second song afterwards, and the third
That's
song.
funny.
Finish up the set completely, and I'm just like. I walked off stage and like my friends and everyone was telling me that they thought I did a great job, and they're like, "Oh, that part where you were on the floor is really fucking cool." And then I look at my knee, my knee's like scuffed from like falling over, and like I taste a little blood in my mouth as I'm performing, and I'm just thinking like I could stop, or if I have blood coming out of my mouth, that could be pretty cool.
No, the show must go on.
Exactly. So when I finished up, when I was playing through that set, I finished up. I was talking to my friends, and they're like, "Yo, that was awesome. That was so great." And I'm like, "Yeah, I passed out on stage." I'm like, you passed out? I'm like, why do you think I missed an entire 12 seconds of the song in the beginning of the first track? And they're like, we thought you were just being theatrical. We thought you were hitting the mic on the floor to the pattern of that. And I remember when I was getting up after...
Walk it off, champ.
Exactly. And I remember when I woke up from like fainting, I thought, oh shit, because I heard the song still playing. Did I just miss most of the song?
That's funny.
And I looked at the guy who was sitting behind the mixer, like the engineer, and he was smiling at me. And I'm like, I need to get back into this. And I jumped right back up into the song.
You know what's like equally as funny? There's a
What?
video. I don't know if you know who Casey and JoJo are.
Yeah.
But Casey and JoJo were performing. This happened years ago. They were performing, and all of a sudden, Casey passed out. And JoJo's in front, Casey's in the back. Casey's passed out, and JoJo keeps singing. And he just keeps singing, and everybody's like pointing to KC in the background, and KC's just singing the song, and then he turns around looking for KC, and JoJo's like turning around, he's like, "Where's KC?" And he's passed out, like everybody's there dragging him on the floor. Oh my god!
But it's just like I was like, when I think back to it, it's like embarrassing because you like fainted on stage. But everyone like was telling me is like the fact that you carried through the entire thing.
Did they record this?
Yeah.
Oh,
my friend recorded this on her DSLR camera. She wants to send me a clip of it.
Yes, please.
And I'm gonna put it on social media if I find it.
Yes.
Because like, despite what I feel like about it, I feel like people should see this. This is kind of like a thing.
Oh no, it's hilarious.
And the fact that I powered through the set still, because before that I did a full set where I was singing and playing guitar. So like after that, and I played a second set afterwards, and like I was a little spent at that point. I was heated, just sitting there, and I was just wearing like a t-shirt, like normal stuff. But like it was so fucking.
So
hot in that
the
bar.
backing track that you had was instrumental, or was it?
It was instrumental, yeah.
All right, because if it was like
the actual track.
Yeah,
no,
I'd laugh even more.
It was instrumental, but it was just me on vocals.
Because I'd have been like, you're Ashley Simpson.
But what's good though is that the backing track though had the other vocalists on it because we're a 2-vocalist project.
Okay.
So so you hear the other vocalists scream, fill out that section. Thankfully, so it wasn't just a hole in the mix.
That's funny.
But I just remember when I went to go perform the song after that little emo acoustic set, and then people just walked right out of the bar as soon as they heard me start screaming away.
That's funny.
But yeah. Anyway, so that's what happened to me this weekend. On social media, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Drakentos_, DearAkontas_. For fans of the Dear Apparition podcast, I'm still editing episode 2 for Act 1. Should be out Friday, Saturday, around there. So expect that. Follow us on, you can find us on the page and follow us on like whatever streaming platform you desire to listen to the new episode. And if you want to see the full video, add me on Facebook at Steve May, and I'll have clips on there. I'll also probably upload a clip on my other socials too. So thank you to that. And now we have Nigel, who has a gig this weekend and other social medias.
Yeah. This Saturday. I saw you almost faint again.
Oh yeah.
This Saturday I will be at Governor's Comedy Club in their little room. Yes, the little room. You can buy tickets at www.govs.com. This is called the Nigel Fullerton and Friends. Yes, I do have friends. Yes, they will be in attendance. Hey, and I'd love to invite all of you. If you like me on this show, if you like me on other shows, if you just like me in general, I'm a good person, please come to the show. I'd love for you to be there. Have a drink with me. Have 2 drinks. Have 6. Whatever you can afford, because I'm not paying for your drinks. But definitely, please come out to the show. Please. I do this for you guys. I love performing in front of people. Just please come out. You can find me at on Instagram and Twitter as at Nigel Fullerton _. You can find me on my Facebook page, Nigel A. Fullerton. Just find me and just please come out to the show. Thank you guys for coming. God bless you and good night.
Good night, people.